everyone. Welcome to the Valley News Now desk. Duke Schindler here with you on this fine Tuesday afternoon. Very frigid out there, by the way. But we're going to dive into some Investigate TV today as we take an in-depth look at the solutions to help raise the literacy rates and how learning to read can change a person's life. But also besides that, it's been 20 years since one of the country's worst natural disasters in Hurricane Katrina. They also explore the flaws that dated back to the 1800s, which led to an engineering failure and the massive upgrades now protecting New Orleans. Plus, they uncover how a pregnancy complication can alter a woman's life for decades later. This is Investigate TV.
Today on Investigate TV Plus, a silent crisis.
What could you read?
Nothing.
Not even basic?
Nothing.
More than half of American adults read below a 6th grade level.
The rates are staggering, actually.
We reveal how low literacy rates have costly consequences and solutions that could boost the economy and improve public health.
This is a solvable problem, right? We know how to teach people to read.
Then, 2 decades after Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans, we share a story of resilience and rebirth.
The discussion was how fast can we do this? It was never about whether we do it or not.
Plus, we explore new systems designed to protect communities from the next storm.
And when a mother collapses, her son finds her unconscious, beginning a medical journey that leads to a device keeping her heart beating.
These are my batteries. I carry 2.
How a pregnancy complication altered a woman's life and the technology giving her a future.
I'm just thankful to be here. It gave me 5 more years with my son.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus. Reading is part of our everyday lives, but it's more than just picking up a book or scanning an article online. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. You do it when you drive and read road signs, when you sign your kids up for school, apply for a job, or pay a bill. Knowing how to read is vital, yet America is facing a literacy crisis.
The number of adult Americans who read below a 6th grade level is at its highest point ever. And experts say that has an effect on the economy, healthcare, and more.
But as dire as this problem is, experts say it's also one with a clear solution. Reporter Kristen Crowley takes an in-depth look at what's being done to raise literacy rates and how it can improve a community.
Reading is a crucial part of education, one that for many students starts in kindergarten.
So Khan Academy have what? English.
But 61-year-old Bernadette Graves says growing up, she never learned how.
Couldn't read, still can't spell.
How much schooling did you do?
I went all the way to the 12th grade.
You graduated high school.
I went all the way to the 12th grade.
What could you read?
Nothing.
Not even basic?
Nothing.
How were you getting through school?
They were just passing us back then.
Going through years of schooling and becoming an adult without the ability to read may sound rare, but Bernadette is one of 680,000 adults just in the Kansas City, Missouri area with low literacy. And that can range from a very basic understanding of words and phrases to no understanding at all. And it's a problem nationwide.
The rates are staggering, actually. Over 50% of American adults read below the equivalent of a 6th grade reading level. We call it a silent crisis because it's not talked about that much.
Andrew Roberts is president of the Barbara Bush Foundation for Family Literacy. He says in 2019, the group started upping its support for adult literacy as rates started getting worse and funding to reverse the trend started drying up.
On the adult side, from a federal funding, there's only enough funding to reach about 10% of the folks that need it.
Why are we seeing such a high rate of adult illiteracy?
So the areas where we see poverty, we do tend to see worse literacy rates. It's a multi-generational problem. So when we see adults with low literacy, children raised in those households, they have a 72% chance of growing up with low literacy themselves.
A cycle Roberts says doesn't just impact those families, but the entire country. People without strong reading skills struggle to find good paying jobs, or sometimes any job at all. If every adult read at a 6th grade level or higher, studies show it would create more than $2 trillion a year in the US GDP. As a result, taxpayers are picking up the tab, as experts say many who struggle with literacy don't make a livable wage and may rely on government aid to make ends meet. Another struggle for people with low literacy is job advancement, which can limit their earning ability.
Which one's the bigger win?
389.
For Bernadette, who worked as a custodian and cafeteria server for 20 years, she has no idea what her earning potential could have been.
Can I ask how much you were making in that job?
Back then, I didn't know nothing about all that stuff. See, I still don't know.
Don't
about
even
that
know how
stuff
much you were
today.
making.
No.
The high cost of low literacy doesn't end there. The group Pro Literacy estimates as much as $238 billion in healthcare costs are linked to low adult literacy skills because those adults misunderstand treatment regimens and preventative care that can also lead to more serious health issues. And while the issue paints a gloomy picture, Roberts says it shouldn't discourage us.
This is a solvable problem, right? We know how to teach people to read.
One key to solving it, programs like this.
Now you need a paragraph on collaboration.
Okay, we are growing all the time, and we are actually at capacity in all of our programs. So we have a wait list at all times of dozens, if not hundreds.
Jillian Helm is the CEO of Literacy KC, the largest adult education facility in Kansas City, Missouri. It serves 2,000 adults a year. In 2024, it graduated 100 of them.
I do think more services like ours are needed nationwide, and I think that that's evident in our waiting lists. You know, we have hundreds, we have dozens of phone calls every week for people wanting to get enrolled in our programs.
We've actually added programming to address this need.
Dr. Wendy Klein is Director of Adult Education at Literacy KC.
There is a growing need for adults to become more literate. What is the solution to that?
I think the only way to turn around literacy is to continue to do this work. We really function with teacher-led instruction, tutor support in the classroom, and student-centered.
And Helm says their data shows it's working.
Our students are more stable, that they work, that they're in jobs that pay above $17 an hour, which is awesome, and you know, that they're continuing on the track of post-secondary or certification programs.
Go ahead and open the very first one.
One of those students it's working for is Bernadette.
When I started here, I was a first grade level or kindergarten level. Today, I'm reading fifth grade level.
How does that feel?
It feels good that I keep books in my car, so I'm waiting on somebody I can read.
And Robert says sharing success stories like Bernadette's can turn this crisis around.
I think the issue is really around the awareness of what a large problem this is and kind of a sustained attention and funding to get to where we need to go.
The Barbara Bush Foundation says some companies have also come up with strategies to help raise literacy rates in the workforce.
For example, it says Tyson Foods has made literacy courses part of its workforce training programs. Many of those employees who have school-age children can then help their kids with reading and schoolwork, reducing their risk of having a low literacy rate as adults.
Literacy rates can also impact elections. According to research published in the Journal of Learning Disabilities, adults with low-level literacy skills are at a disadvantage when voting. During 2022 state elections, they found 39% of adults completed high school or less, yet 74% of ballots were written well above a high school level. Our investigation also uncovered how lower literacy rates can impact voter turnout.
You can learn more on InvestigateTV.com. Just search Right to Read.
Still ahead, it's been 20 years since one of the country's worst hurricanes.
It's a whole different world than what it was when Hurricane Katrina hit.
We explore how flaws dating back to the 1800s led to an engineering failure and the massive upgrades now protecting New Orleans.
Then later, after decades of dedication, meet the world-class talent keeping a backyard sport alive, one ringer at a time. It's a natural disaster many people in this country will never forget. In August of 2005, Hurricane Katrina made landfall in southeast Louisiana as a Category 3 storm.
The National Weather Service reports nearly 1,400 people died, making it one of the deadliest hurricanes to hit the United States. It's also the costliest hurricane in history at $125 billion in damage.
Katrina caused enormous destruction when the systems meant to protect the city of New Orleans crumbled under the hurricane's force. But in the last 2 decades, the Army Corps of Engineers spent billions of dollars to upgrade those safeguards.
Reporter John Snell takes a look back at what went wrong and how the system has since improved. Plus, he introduces us to some New Orleanians who never gave up hope of rebuilding.
Not far from the shoreline of Lake Pontchartrain, this is the sound of recovery. In New Orleans' Lakeview neighborhood, heavily flooded during Hurricane Katrina, there's no missing the main squeeze smoothie store or the message about how happy they are to be here.
Made a statement, made a bold statement that we are here for you.
Co-owner Brittany Adams will tell you Lakeview has roared back to life.
Oh, it's vibrant, it's moving, it's very popular now.
20 years ago, New Orleans levees failed catastrophically. Floodwaters inundated 80% of the city.
The levee that you see here is the new levee built after the Katrina.
Sandy Rosenthal founded levees.org and made it her mission to keep the full story of the levees in the nation's memory, that people see Katrina as not simply a natural disaster.
About the same number of people died as during 9/11 or the Titanic. This is every bit as big an event in our nation's history, in our world's history.
The Army Corps of Engineers tested New Orleans levees in the 1990s, but failed to recognize the flimsy nature of the soils beneath them. In fact, problems with the levees go all the way back to the 1800s. Some of the earliest levees were barely speed bumps, small mounds using whatever material was handy, not the hard clay the Corps eventually used when it raised those levees.
So they put reasonable material on top of whatever was there from the late 1800s and built what looked like a levee.
Civil engineer H.J. Bosworth explains the levees could not withstand the enormous pressure Katrina's surge exerted on them, and sheet pilings driven into the earth turned out to be too short.
When the water came up, the water went through the unsuitable material, which was deep beneath the earth, put pressure against the canal or the levee, and the levee slid towards people's houses and broke into pieces.
Other levees failed when they were overtopped. In the aftermath, the Corps spent nearly $15 billion installing 150 miles of improved levees and flood walls. The most prominent feature might be what locals nicknamed the Great Wall, a 2-mile-long, 26-foot-high surge barrier, a feat of modern engineering built in the soupy conditions of a marsh with piles driven a couple hundred feet into the earth.
Oh, it's a whole different world than what it was when Hurricane Katrina hit.
Chris Dunn is chief of the engineering division of the Corps' New Orleans district.
Surge was able to penetrate deep into the city.
2 decades later, New Orleans is a safer place during hurricanes. Yet the city confronts many of the same challenges that plagued it long before Katrina. Like many older cities, New Orleans copes with an aging infrastructure, including water pipes over a century old. In the last 5 years, the population shrank by more than 20,000 people. Across South Louisiana, homeowners confront a financial storm of escalating insurance rates following other hurricanes. But there's progress on other fronts. Long one of America's murder capitals, violent crime today is falling, the homicide rate at a 50-year low. The tourism industry is thriving. Café du Monde was the first major tourist attraction to reopen following Katrina, 53 days after the storm. Owner Jay Roman remembers his family being committed to getting back in business.
The discussion was how fast can we do this? It was never about whether we do it or not.
Like so many others, Roman says he braced for a long haul, but he also knew New Orleans would be back.
Another part of the new $15 billion system upgrades, the Army Corps of Engineers built the world's largest pumping station, which can divert water from the intercoastal waterway during tropical events. The goal is to provide 100-year storm protection or to guard against a storm with a 1% chance of striking in any given year. But officials don't plan on stopping there. In December 2024, Congress authorized the Army Corps of Engineers to look at providing a 200-year level of protection. The Corps is now analyzing the cost versus the benefits.
Coming up, as she battles a rare form of heart failure for 2 decades.
Nurses would also even remind me every day, this is why you're here.
We share the inspiration for one mother's strength to carry on. Plus, we take an in-depth look at the condition that can affect pregnant women.
Our in-depth coverage continues. You can get connected to Investigate TV Plus on all social media platforms. Developing heart disease during pregnancy is a serious risk women face.
One rare form of heart failure that occurs during pregnancy or shortly after is called peripartum or postpartum cardiomyopathy. It affects about 1 in 2,000 pregnant women, and Black women have up to a 16-fold risk of developing the condition compared to white women.
For a mother in North Carolina, she says the pregnancy complication almost prevented her from a life with her son.
Reporter Natisha Lance has her story and a closer look at the condition.
So these are my batteries. I carry 2.
Those batteries are Jody Hall-Holitz's lifeline.
It lets you know here like how many notches you have, like to change them. And then this is the controller.
It's called a left ventricle assist device. It's the end of options for a weak heart, doing the work her heart can't do on its own anymore.
I have my ups and downs, but I'm just thankful to be here. It gave me 5 more years with my son.
It's time Jody never thought she'd get 2 months after giving birth to her son, Patrick, 25 years ago.
I started getting sick, short of breath.
Doctors diagnosed Jody with peripartum cardiomyopathy, forcing her to stay in the hospital for 3 months with a newborn at home.
It was rough. It was rough. I wasn't able to care for him or see him.
The American Heart Association says peripartum cardiomyopathy is an uncommon form of heart failure toward the end of pregnancy or delivery. The underlying cause of the condition is unclear.
I was very confused. Was it something I'd done wrong? I didn't know, because the pregnancy was fine.
Because of her young age, doctors were optimistic Jody would recover with medication. And for nearly 20 years, she did, until May of 2020.
I wasn't feeling good. I didn't say anything to anyone. I didn't want anyone to get alert. So I just said, well, I'll take a shower and just lay down. And I never made it out the shower.
Her son found her passed out. When she woke up, she was in the hospital.
She was in a condition known as cardiogenic shock. She had a very low capability to generate output from her heart.
Jody spent months in the hospital in a coma and undergoing surgeries, separated once again from her son. But he remained her motivation.
Nurses would also even remind me every day, this is why you're here.
Today, Jody says she feels good. She carries part of her lifeline in a backpack every day, and the other she carries in her son.
It takes a real person, it takes a mother to fight, and definitely in my situation.
Mayo Clinic doctors say eating a healthy diet, exercising, getting enough sleep, and not smoking can lower risk. While pregnant, they also recommend scheduling regular appointments with your healthcare team to check your blood glucose and blood lipids. Experts say heart failure can be difficult to identify in pregnant women because the symptoms are similar to those seen with pregnancy, such as shortness of breath and swelling in lower extremities.
Up next, in a sport where millimeters matter and legends are made in the dirt.
Practice, practice.
See how one world champion is inspiring the next generation to keep a beloved backyard sport alive.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime, streaming online. Get the app for Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. They're free to download.
Horseshoes. It's a game experts say dates back to the Roman Empire, and today it's still enjoyed by millions of Americans.
For 6 decades, one club in Vermont has kept the good old-fashioned fun flying. Reporter Joe Carroll introduces us to some of their world-renowned players.
On a hot afternoon in Bristol, Deborah Brown is warming up.
Practice, practice.
It's the Summer League of the Sodbusters Horseshoe Club, the 59th year plowing shoes. First, though, the players prep the pit.
Yeah, you got to turn the clay because it gets hard and you have to water it.
In with that,
Okay, let's have fun. Let's go.
Deborah is also dead serious about the game
I had to earn my stripes.
because she's one of the best in the world for horseshoe pitching.
I am 24-time state champion. I'm 9-time New England champion. I'm 1-time world champion. Not a celebrity. I just love the game.
But Deborah says the sport isn't as popular as it used to be.
If we don't have kids in future of it, we don't have a sport. Okay, you're up.
So the champ is playing against Blair Selleck on the junior team.
She's up and coming.
Deborah gives Blair a large handicap to even out the game.
Nice shoe.
It's also a family affair. Deborah's husband Mike introduced her to the game in 1980.
She's more serious than I am. Hit the nail.
I just have to tell you a little secret. She's better than you.
Yes, I'm proud of it.
You're okay with that?
Oh, yes. Nice shoe, Mo. I'm here to help people out if I can help them.
And then there's Brianna McCormick, the couple's niece.
You have more of a game face on this one because of her.
Do I? Oh, I believe it.
For good reason, because Brianna's a ringer herself.
Nice shoe.
She's won the Junior World Championship and Vermont Girls State title 14 times.
Your aunt said, "This is a family affair." Got really excited. Agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the first time I threw horseshoes was in her backyard.
The pitchers play into the evening.
What do you get out of this?
Enjoyment, relaxation.
Camaraderie. That's the biggest thing.
Just lights me up.
What's at stake?
Nice.
Just plain old-fashioned fun.
And look at the score. 82-83.
Oh, wow, that was a really good game.
Deborah recently added another honor to her resume.
In 2025, she was inducted into the Vermont Sports Hall of Fame, the first entrant for horseshoe pitching. Fun fact, I was
making history.
I was really good at horseshoes when I was a kid, shockingly. I
I'm
don't know.
thinking, have I ever
You've never
even played?
tossed
I played
one?
cornhole.
Cornhole? I guess it's somewhat similar, a
Yeah,
little bit.
horseshoe, I'm not sure. I'll have to do that. Put that on the list.
Put it on the list.
Well, that's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm T. Chappelle.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching. On the next Investigate TV Plus, domestic violence victims who leave their spouse often face an extra burden to ensure their safety.
A domestic violence protective order is not an easy order to get.
We examine the cumbersome legal process many survivors face and hear from one survivor in Georgia sharing her night of terror to fight for change.
And thank you very much for joining us on the Valley News Now Network and joining us on our digital hits. If you like what you see here, make sure you let us know. And if you don't have the app yet, download the VNN News app on your smartphone or mobile device. And if you got a smart TV, make sure you got the VNN News app downloaded. If you got Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, VNL available at all times on those apps where you can find all these digital hits. But for now, Duke Schindler on the desk. We'll catch you later.